Hi, my name is Umberto Mucci and this is We the ItaliaNews, a podcast about Italy during coronavirus times. Today is Friday, March 19, 2021. Today is Saint Joseph, buon onomastico, happy name day and best wishes to all Joseph and Josephine. Here in Italy today is also Father's Day, so let me wish tanti auguri to all Italian dads wherever they live. The data say that we have administered the first dose of the vaccine to 7,366,000 people, 12.13% of the population. 2,303,000 of them received the second dose too. The ranking of the regions by percentage of vaccinations made compared to the doses delivered say that in the first three places from the top are still Valle d'Aosta, Puglia and Campania. In the last three places from the bottom, still we continue to find the same three regions that have been there for more than a month: Sardinia, Calabria and Liguria. With 2 weeks ago before the end of the first quarter, Italy has still not had 45% of the doses promises to be delivered before the end of March, almost half of the expected vaccines. The acceleration of mass vaccination seen in recent weeks has suffered an inevitable setback after the precautionary and temporary stop at the AstraZeneca vaccine. But yesterday, the European Medicines Agency gave the green light to the use of the vaccine after an investigation into some side effects suffered by a few people who had received the AstraZeneca vaccine. The agency has guaranteed and reiterated that the vaccine is safe and effective, that the benefits outweigh the risks, and that it cannot be associated with an increase in thrombosis events because the cases of thrombosis after administration of the AstraZeneca vaccine are lower than those occurring among the unvaccinated population. Italy is the European country that will restart before. Already today, some regions will resume the administration of this vaccine, which will be added to those of other vaccines that have never stopped. The administration's pause for the precautionary stop to AstraZeneca are estimated at about 200,000. The time needed to recover the lost ground is about 2 weeks. The real question is to see if there will be renunciations among the people who had already booked for AstraZeneca. There will be two decisions. The first is that of overbooking, that is to call for vaccination a number of people slightly higher than the doses available, so as to replace any waivers on the fly and not to decrease the pace of vaccination. The second is to scroll to the end of the lists for those who give up. In the meantime, phase 2 of the Italian Reitera vaccine trials is beginning, immediately followed by phase 3. The company is working on the vaccine with Spallanzani Hospital in Rome, where funds raised by We the Italians from the Italian American community have been donated, and thanks to your generosity. This vaccine will prioritize for Italy's needs, and 100 million doses will be produced each year. The goal is to conclude testing and make the vaccine produced south of Rome available to Italy in the summer. The vaccine has been shown to be safe and to stimulate the immune system. The contagion numbers are still very dangerous and we are in lockdown, but the curve has almost stopped growing. This third wave is also coming to a peak, which we will likely see consolidate in the coming days and will shortly begin to fall. Knowing this is good for morale and gives hope and strength to resist and to counteract the enormous fatigue we have been feeling for months now. Many families in Italy have a second vacation home in a place not far from where they live. In some cases, it is the house where they lived before they went to a big city to work. These houses have always been the place where Italians decided to spend their Easter vacations, with spring bringing good weather. But this year, as well as last, it will be difficult for this to happen. The 2,000 villas of the Costa Smeralda in Sardinia at Easter will remain closed. For those in the Gulf of Naples, it depends on who the owner is. If he is from Campania, he will have to give up, but if he comes from any other part of Italy, he can go. Even those who live elsewhere and have a mountain chalet in Val d'Aosta or Trentino Alto Adige will not be able to use it, and Versili and Chianti in Tuscany are preparing to do the same, forbid the entrance to the owners of second homes, despite the government has decided that even in the days of Easter, when all of Italy will be in the red, you can move with your family in the house in which you are accustomed to spend some periods of the year. There is, therefore, a conflict between the regions and the national government. And speaking of vacations in Italy, you often ask me if it will be possible for Americans to vacation here again this summer, as it is both your hope and ours. We don't know yet, we have no certainty, but yesterday, the United States officially announced that there is a willingness by mid-May to reopen the borders to Europe. It is not yet known if the opening will be total or if it will be limited to flights with test COVID or to holders of a health passport to be agreed with other countries, a project on which Europe is already working. I have no certainties, but if I had to bet my 2 cents, I'd say that perhaps with some restrictions and precautions, this summer we will be able to welcome you back. At least those of you who will be vaccinated. I hope I'm not wrong. I hope I'm not too optimistic. Yesterday, the Minister of the South of the new government announced that of the recovery plan funds that will arrive from Europe over the next 5 years, 50% of investments will be dedicated to the south of Italy, with peaks of 84% for road maintenance. In the recovery plan, there will be a specific chapter dedicated to the south, not originally foreseen by the previous government. The share of interventions in the south will be higher than its share of population compared to the national total. In a few years, 100 billion euros will arrive to be spent well and seriously for the south of Italy. Italy approved a bill to set up a COVID Victims Remembrance Day on March 18 each year. March 18 was the day Italy saw its total death to toll reach almost 3,000, and images of army trucks taking coffins away from full cemeteries in the Lombardy city of Bergamo hit the headlines amid a raging epidemic in the north of the country last year. The day is meant to preserve and renew the memory of all the people who died because of the epidemic. And yesterday, March 18, 2021, the head of the Italian government, Mario Draghi, went to Bergamo to pay homage and respect in that symbolic place to all the more than 100,000 Italian victims of the COVID. It was a very moving ceremony. These are all moving days, in memory of a terrible, devastating, horrendous year. Very touching was also the speech of the mayor of Bergamo, Giorgio Gori, who recalled how there is not a citizen of his city who has not had to say goodbye to someone dear. Bergamo lost 6,000 citizens because of the virus. In order to commemorate his fellow citizens, the mayor said that he had discarded the idea of a monument, a statue, an artistic installation, and that he had decided to honor the memory of the victims of the epidemic with a living work, with a monument that breathes, creating a forest of trees and shrubs where meetings dedicated to children and families, workshops, environmental education lessons for school classes will be held in the future. The forest is in front of the hospital of Bergamo, a health facility at the center of the fight against COVID in the whole province and region. Bergamo's people are known to be hardworking, tenacious, and the slogan that guided them through the horrible pandemic was Bergamo, mola mia, Bergamo, non arrenderti, Bergamo, don't give up. We make it ours, we must not give up, never give up. Please stay safe, please stay healthy. This is We the ItaliaNews. My name is Umberto Mucci. I'll see you next Monday. Ciao from Rome.